You are invited to an amazing event that could change the way you think and start a fire in your soul. I'm here today to share a powerful word that has changed the lives of millions of people and left millions of people speechless. One easy but important habit will help you reach your full potential and realize your dreams. Watch this every morning. The best motivational talks aren't just words, they're also sources of inspiration, change agents, and success plans. Imagine getting up every day with a strong sense of purpose, drive, and clarity. Imagine being led by the words and wisdom of the most important speakers, whose words hit you deep and inspire you to break through barriers and reach new heights. These speeches aren't just moments of inspiration. They tell you every day of how great you are and encourage you to take strong steps toward your goals. As we start this trip together, let's remember how powerful daily motivation can be. Making it a habit to watch these speeches every morning will set the tone for a day full of purpose, energy, and drive. You are setting yourself up for success and making sure that your actions are in line with your greatest goals. But let's not just go along with this habit. Take it on with energy and dedication. Let the words of these great motivational speakers sink in, push you past your limits, and motivate you to be the best version of yourself. Every morning when you listen to these talks over and over again, you are strengthening your belief in your own greatness and setting yourself up for amazing achievements. Let's go into this discussion about the power of the best motivational talks with an open mind and heart. Together, let's use the energy and motivation from these talks to make our lives rich, successful, and full. Remember that every great journey starts with a single step. By watching these talks every morning, you are taking that first very important step toward your ultimate goal. You and I are very open to suggestions, and the things that happen in our world are always changing us. Every talk we have, every song we listen to, every news story we read, and every word we hear affects us and either helps or hurts us. Everything is important. No matter what you think about, it changes your attitude, mood, self-confidence, goals, intelligence, and clarity. It has a deep ability to change things. What you think about shapes you. How do you change your mind to be successful? Emerson once said, "You become what you think about most of the time." He told me the weirdest secret to success. You become what you think about all day. GIGO is a phrase used in computer language to mean garbage in, garbage out. It can also mean good results if you input good data. If people were like animals in that they were permanently programmed and couldn't change their instincts and reactions, then we would have no hope. The good news is that we can undo everything we've learned and change the way we're trained with new information. Setting up your mind to succeed is like setting up a computer. A computer only does what you tell it to do when you program it. You have to put in different programming if you want different effects in the outside world. This is what we do now. We say that your self-concept is the set of ideas you hold about yourself that shape everything that happens to you. Remember that you have to change how you see, think, and believe about yourself before you can change anything else. There was a famous man a long time ago. This is a true story. His name was Victor Sarubin, and he was the son of Russian immigrants who came to work in the U.S. He went to school and grew up, and he seemed to float through it all. He did what he had to do in school, but he often fell asleep and daydreamed. He also read other things and looked out the window. They came to the conclusion that he probably had trouble learning mentally and wasn't set up to do well. At this point, he was in the 12th grade and still looked out the window. In the 11th grade, he talked to his counselor about joining the Army. The counselor told him that he could get a good job that would pay well for 25 or 30 years, and then he could retire safely and with a good pension. He didn't give it much thought, so he quit school, went on the road, and worked on farms. When he was about 20 years old and out, and about 2 years later, he saw a sign that said the Army needed men and remembered what his mentor had told him. He joined the Army because of this. Now, Victor had an amazing event happen. He had to pass a lot of tests when he joined the Army, and he did really well on the technical aptitude test. They told him, "Son, you are smart. You should become an engineer." He asked, "What is an engineer?" And they said, "An engineer plans and builds things." That's when Victor's view of himself changed. He began to think of himself as someone who could plan and build things. After that, he went to school for engineering and got a job. After that, he was given a number of mental and intelligence tests. His IQ score was 172. They thought the test was flawed, so they gave it again, but his score went up to 176. The IQ of Einstein was 170, but his was 190. The interviewers were shocked and told him he was the smartest person who had ever tried to join, even though he had bad grades in school. A military psychologist told him that he remembered everything he had learned in school, like it was yesterday. He always looked out the window because it was dull for him. He chose to join the Army and learn about nuclear physics. If he stayed in the Army for 4 years, he could get a college degree. When he was 30, he finally graduated and started his own business in Los Angeles. It was called Sarah Bianca Industries, and it was a huge hit. He got 6 big patents in just 2 years, and each one sold or leased for millions of dollars. He was still living in Los Angeles and worth a huge amount of money when he was 35 years old. They thought he was one of the most creatively gifted people they had ever seen, and he didn't know that he had been designed at birth. He was taught that he wasn't very smart because his parents were poor. He had a bad childhood, and his teachers didn't pay attention to him. He changed his code and became a genius when he finally saw how smart he was. His level of intelligence was beyond compare, and he showed that we can change everything about our lives by changing what we think about ourselves. In the science of change, you are always becoming something new. This is called programming your mind for success. Change and growth happen all the time to everyone. The knowledge you take in determines how you keep moving forward and growing. It's a terrible fate to keep doing the same things and getting the same results. That means that if you keep watching the same shows, reading the same old newspapers, or using Twitter, nothing will change. Natural trends will last forever. However, if you read new things, talk to new people, and take in new information and ideas, you will start to change and grow in a different way and faster. We say that you need to be clear about your goals and explain them in detail if you want to change and grow faster. Some interesting things happen when you are sure that you want to reach a certain goal. You start to get all sorts of ideas for how to do it. You start to see a lot of options. There are thoughts that can help you everywhere when you use your reticular cortex. You meet new people and make links with them. It's really cool. I read about an entrepreneur who had started a lot of businesses and made a lot of money in each one. He was reading the Wall Street Journal one day when he saw that in the last year, imports of Italian race bikes had grown by 37%. It was a small piece from a magazine from the Commerce Department. So he thought, a 37% growth rate, that's pretty good. I wonder why that is. He looked into it and found that Italian racing bikes, which are very famous now, were almost unknown in the U.S. many years ago. He got in touch with an Italian bike maker and opened a store. He brought the bikes in from another country, advertised them, and then began selling them. He made about $15 to $20 million before selling the business. By the time he was done, he had 32 stores offering Italian bikes. Just seeing that little note led to everything else. The important thing is that he was looking for business ideas, not the note. Because of this, if you want to make a lot of money, you will find ways to do it. So keep an open mind. Once you know what you want, you'll start seeing chances that will help you get it. Then keep an open mind, because once you know what you want, you will start seeing chances for everything you can do. You need to think about them all the time now. Don't just set a goal and think about it once a month. When you're married, you think about your family once a month. That doesn't mean you're really into it. So there are 2 things that are stopping you from becoming everything you can be. First is homeostasis, which means that you become stiff in the way you think. A different word for the safety zone is homeostasis. One big reason people don't grow is that they hold on to the things they have done in the past. They don't like the thought of trying something new. You need to be aware of the fact that they don't like to try new things and try to stay out of their comfort zone. You can stay in your comfort zone by not being open to new ideas. However, if you set a big goal for yourself, you will be pushed to leave your comfort zone because you can't keep performing at the same level. We talk about adding a 0 to the end of your income goal because it forces you to think big. It makes you do something different somewhere else in a different way. There are 2 big forces that run the world, as the saying goes. The first is love's power. Love has more power than anything else in our lives. As kids, we don't get enough love, so people say that everything we do is an attempt to make up for it. We move from pain to pleasure, from discomfort to warmth. People who are important to us always want to love, care for, and value us, no matter what. Also remember that I said that as adults, we try to make up for what we felt was missing in our youth. The power of suggestion is the second great power that rules everything. You and I are very open to suggestions, and the things that happen in our world are always changing us. Every talk we have, every song we listen to, every news story we read, and every word we hear affects us and either helps or hurts us. Everything is important. No matter what you think about, it changes your attitude, mood, self-confidence, goals, intelligence, and clarity. It has a deep ability to change things, the rules that help you reach your dreams and goals, on the other hand. The first is the rule of feelings. People often say that every choice they make is based on a feeling. What you do will depend on which feeling is stronger than the weaker one. If you feel like you want to do well at work but are also scared and insecure, you won't want to lose your safety. The strongest feeling is the one that will win over the other. An old Indian chief once said, "I have two wolves, one black and one white. The black wolf is on my shoulder and is always trying to get me to do things that are bad for me, and the white wolf is on the other shoulder and is always encouraging me to do things that are good for me." When asked which wolf he thought controlled his thoughts, the Indian chief replied, "The one I feed, the one I pay more attention to, that is the one that dominates my thoughts." You can make your desire for success, happiness, and achievement much stronger than the fears that hold most people back by thinking about what you want all the time. It is said that whatever permeates is expressed by the rule of expression. That is, everything you do, hear, talk about, etc., shows up in your life and in your conversations. If you listen to someone talk, you can figure out what's going on inside them because they always say what they're thinking. So be very careful about what you think and make sure it's only good things, because that's what will come out. One of the great laws says that when you reach a certain level of wealth, good health, or happy relationships, you will also reach a certain level of subjective state, which means you will feel a certain way. When you win something, you act and feel like a winner. However, the subjective state or emotion is caused by the objective truth, which in this case is progress. Because of this, when you win, you feel like a winner. But even if you haven't been successful before, you can make yourself feel successful by picturing yourself being successful and thinking about how you would feel afterwards. Reversibility is the idea that if you feel good about yourself, you will act in a good way. But if you don't feel good, you can either make yourself feel good or act like you're already doing well to make yourself feel good. You can't think that you've already achieved success because that would make you act. Because of this, the fact that this rule of reversibility works both ways is very important. Harold Harvard's William James says that if you act like you have a feeling when you don't, you will feel the emotion that comes with success. So, we pretend that we've already reached our goal, make ourselves feel like we're already a big success, and then do it all over again. That which you do over and over again and often enough turns into a habit is called the law of practice. Repetition is all it takes to form new ways of thinking and acting. Repetition is what made all of your habits. You can break old habits and start fresh ones. It takes about 21 days to form a new habit. For 21 days, only think and talk about what you want and not what you don't want. This is called a good mental attitude diet. Your goal is to always be positive, so you choose to be positive all the time. You will get back on track quickly if you run into a problem or setback that makes you angry or upset. Or if you fall a lot, it doesn't matter how many times you get back up. That was something my friend Charles Jones always said. So what you do is set yourself up ahead of time. To make big changes in your attitude and character, you need 4 things. The first trait is a strong desire. That being said, the only thing that really stops you is how badly you want something. A lot of people say things like, I want to do this, I want to be that, I want to be successful, I want to be happy, I want to have a great relationship or marriage. It's true for many people, but people who live in mental hospitals want the same things. I call these cigarette smoke goals because they are just short-lived wants and not goals. They fly away because, among other things, they want to party, drink, have fun with their friends, text, and waste time at work. They have a lot of things that don't go together. If you reach one goal, you can't reach the other important goal. They want to eat anything they want, not work out, and other things. In other words, how badly do you want it? If you really want it that badly, you stop doing things that go against your choice. It's important to be ready to do anything to reach your goal. I need to say something to you now. This is a great word that comes from studying for about 30 years. What is the difference between people who are successful and those who are not? And it's your choice. It came down to desire. To be great, a person must be willing to do whatever it takes to reach their goal. Some people are ready to do a lot of things, but not all of them. They're ready to work hard, but not late. The only time they're ready to work is during the week. They want to get better, but they don't want to read sports magazines or watch football games. They want to work out, but don't want to work out too hard. So they do easy things like getting up and sitting back down on the couch. The master key to getting rich is discipline. This is the most important key of all. It means being able to force yourself to do it even if you don't want to. Do it again and again until it becomes second nature. But keep this in mind. Where you are now is because of what you did or didn't do in the past. You can go anywhere you want in the future because you were in charge of it. It gets easier and easier once you start self-discipline, which Napoleon Hill calls the master key to riches. And now for the big discovery. Every self-disciplined action makes you feel better about your own self-worth and confidence. Every act of self-discipline makes you more determined and persistent. Being self-disciplined makes you stronger and more sure of yourself. There is a positive side to self-discipline that makes you a better person. Why do you think the most successful people in history have trained themselves like they were lifting weights? To become very disciplined and focused on doing what they need to do to achieve. In other words, every step you take to become more focused makes you feel better about yourself, which makes it easier to take the next step. So, self-discipline really is the key to getting rich. This is the most important skill that makes everything else possible. Discipline is a skill that can be learned, and it can help you do anything in life. If you learn the right habits, you can reach any physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual goal. But most importantly, you can reach any cash goal. As we come to the end of this life-changing lesson, let us take a moment to appreciate how much daily motivation can change our lives. If you watch these inspiring talks every morning, you might be left speechless with motivation to reach new heights of success, just like millions of other people. The best motivational speeches don't just make you feel better for a short time. They give you power, clarity, and a sense of purpose for a long time. Imagine waking up every day knowing that you have a wealth of knowledge and support ready to help you move forward. These talks are like a daily compass. They help you find your way through tough situations and remind you of your endless potential. If you watch these every morning, you are constantly giving your mind things that are positive, strong, and inspiring. As you leave this room today, make a firm promise to stick with this powerful practice. Make listening to the best motivational speakers a daily habit. Their words will change the way you think, act, and make choices. This habit will not only motivate you, but it will also give you the mental strength to get past problems and confidently take advantage of chances. Remember that taking constant, deliberate action is how you get to be great. You are more committed to personal growth and success if you start each day with the best motivational speeches. You are choosing to start each day with an open mind and a strong will, which will help you reach amazing goals. Thanks for coming along with me on this trip of growth and discovery. These speeches may give you the power and motivation you need to make your dreams come true. As you keep watching these every morning, may they remind you of your amazing potential and the amazing future that lies ahead. Feel good about yourself because you now have the knowledge and drive to make your life successful and satisfying. Take advantage of the power of daily inspiration and let it push you toward your goals. The best is yet to come, and every morning when you watch these speeches, you're taking a big step toward your final goal.